order the February 10th, 2025 regular meeting of February 2026. Regular meeting of the CUSD 201 Board of Education. Roll call.
Leah Conover.
Here.
Heather Franklin.
Here.
Charles Avia.
Here.
Tim Horman.
Here.
Adina Hoover.
Here.
Alexandria Mill.
Here.
Kevin Marin.
Here.
Great. Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving into the approval of minutes. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the January 27th, 2026 regular meeting of the Board of Education as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the first closed session of the January 27th, 2026 regular meeting of the Board of Education as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the second closed session of the January 27th, 2026 meeting of the Board of Education as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Do we have public comment tonight? Nope. Okay. Moving on to the consent agenda. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Number 1, personnel recommendations. Abigail Davidson, art teacher at Westmont High School. Brian Pindar, assistant football coach, Westmont High School, a retirement. And number 2, approval of donation from Office Depot to Miller.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Marin.
Yes.
Miss Mill.
Yes.
Miss Franklin.
Yes.
Dr. Hoover.
Yes.
Mr. Avia.
Yes.
Mr. Orman.
Yes.
Miss Conover.
Yes. Okay, on to discussion. Let's talk about the roof.
Mr. Herman had some questions about the roof, and Joe Smith here is here to answer them.
Joe, I think a lot of them were answered in the materials that were provided to me, but I just, wanted you to speak really briefly about what occurred back in 2021 with the roof and the insurance piece of it and the piece that wasn't covered by insurance.
So at the high school, if you can think of the fine arts section and kind of the back athletics section on the north side and the south side of the building, there's 2 roofs that they refer to as the wing roofs. So on the south portion of the building, the entire roof delaminated. So essentially what happened is there's insulation that is attached to the roof deck. Then there's a rubber roof that was glued down to that. So what ended up happening was the rubber roof delaminated from the insulation below it. So when that happened, that entire rubber roof became a moon bounce, which literally looked like that. The whole thing was kind of bellowing with the air. Because it was basically a full failure, we reached out to insurance. They sent out an adjuster. The adjuster came out, assessed the damages, assessed the area, looked at things from the perspective of an insurance adjuster, and he deemed that it was caused by wind damage. So if you look at it on a map, there is kind of a natural wind tunnel on the south portion of the high school. So because that roof is on that section, he deemed it to be failed due to wind. So they agreed to cover 100% of the cost of that roof. On the north side, there was only a small portion that actually delaminated, but they did agree to pay for a percentage of it. I think it was about 40% of that roof. Because we had roofing crews doing it on site, the district decided to pay to do the rest of the north section that insurance did not cover. When we wanted to bid this project out, it was in the heart of COVID. So what happened was we put the project out for bid. Roofing companies would not stand by, they would not submit a bid because they could not get certain materials for the project. They couldn't guarantee pricing. So a lot of them started to pull out. where they said, we're not going to formally submit a bid, we can't get materials. So we had to rebid it the following year. So we had to do a temporary repair of the roof that was bellowing, that was 100%. We did a temporary repair to attach that with like bars, basically attached bars, top of the rubber to the deck. Insurance did pay for a portion of that because of the bidding having to get extended. There was another aspect of the project where, again, it's kind of hard to show if I could pull it up, but on the side roofs of the gym, there's a steel roof that comes down on an angle. So one of the dilemmas we had with this project was when we have to tear the roof off, when we're putting the new roof down, we have to meet current energy code with insulation. We could not add enough insulation on that roof deck without getting into that steel roof coming down the side. So we were able to build it up enough where we could put like a return piece on it. We didn't have to get into all that. That was another problem with the project. And then additionally, we added roof drains to the project. So prior to the roof actually failing, there was only a series of 3 roof drains on both sides. And so in order to get the proper pitch to divert the water all the way to that, we would have to go up that steel roof that's coming down. So because we did not want to do that, we added additional roof drains so that we didn't have to make that complete pitch.
And on the parts that need to be done now at the high school, that's
Separate.
different?
Yeah, completely different. There is kind of a nuisance issue we have on the fine arts side where that roof transitions to the brown gravel roof, that you could see that from the street. There's a transition there that they just cannot get. It's just kind of a very tough detail where we just constantly have issues there. But everywhere else, different roofs.
And the roof that needs to be repaired now, when was the last time that it was re-roofed? Do you know that, or?
The gym roof is currently our worst roof in the building. There is it's not the original, there is a second on there, but it is over 30 years old. So the gym roof, this is a while back now, but we entertained an idea of doing a fluid applied roofing system, which is basically, not to dumb it down too much, but Flex Seal. This is a version of Flex Seal that they can do on an entire roof now. Part of that process, though, is they have to do a moisture scan. So they have a device that they come up on the roof, and they measure in 10-foot squares, and they do the entire roof section, and then they give you an analysis of how much moisture is in that roof. So we had them do the gym roof at the high school, and we had them do the student roof at South. At that time, the high school roof was 86% saturated, and South School was 74%. So it's just, it needs to
What
be.
does that
that's-
translate
I'm
into?
sorry.
Give me more.
So essentially, like if you think,
86 sounds bad.
yeah, to explain the high school gym roof as it currently stands right now, this is what happens. So when we get into winter, up until the point where we have freezing temperatures, we will have phantom roof leaks. So again, the gym roof has 2 roofs on it. So what's happening is water is getting past the newest roof, getting into the first roof, and finding its way in anywhere it can. So what happens is when the weather gets cold, that insulation that's 86% saturated freezes solid. So we don't get leaks in the wintertime, but then the first day that thaws out, water comes in wherever it wants. And because of that 2-roof problem, it's not even a patchable thing. Like where the
finds a
water's
way.
getting through the newest roof is a different location than where it's getting in from the original roof. So it's a full replacement all the way down to the deck, new installation all the way up. And again, like I was explaining the situation with the air conditioning of the gym, that project is going to replace the roof. We have to add a rooftop unit to the gym to get air conditioning. We can't, our current chiller system cannot handle adding the gym to it. So we almost have to basically install its own rooftop unit to get it air conditioning. If we don't do that when we do the roof project, you're paying significant money to do that project after the fact, and then you're doing it on a roof that we just replaced. So it's kind of, again, like all these projects have so much nuance built into them, where when you're gonna do this, you gotta do that, and if you don't, you're gonna pay for it tremendously down the road to do what you could have done by packaging it with a separate project. But
And is the Flex Seal an option?
not if you're that.
Not if we're that
Yes,
saturated.
but again, the Flex Seal is actually called a Tremco system. So what they do is it's a fluid applied system. They basically take your roof down to, depending on what kind of roof it is, it depends. But then they get that to a suitable, again, like in our gym roof, if they had scanned it and we were under a certain percentage, then they would say, you could go ahead with this type of roofing system and we'll stand by that. If there's areas that are too wet, they can dig that area out, replace it, and then put the fluid applied roof. But if you do a roofing system that way, you don't have to do a full tear off. So the advantage of that is you don't have to do the insulation value, where if you're doing a full tear off roof, now you're not grandfathered. You need to update your insulation to this level. That changes the project. If
And
you-
because we have water in so many places,
Yes.
it's not,
it's
they
essentially,
would essentially have to tear it off.
yeah,
all of Yeah.
both areas where we wanted to do it were not candidates because of how saturated it is. Other areas, though, you could. And then, like, if you think of, you'll never see this, but if you look at the roof of the high school has on the beam side, there's a mechanical roof there, where there's like all of our rooftop equipment, there's a rubber roof under that. If you were ever gonna replace that, this system would be amazing, because you would not have to take the equipment off, you would not have to rip the roof off, you could just apply that. And it comes with a 20-year warranty. So it's an unbelievable product that's kind of changing the roofing.
You just have to be ahead of
You
it.
have to qualify for it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're not a candidate and you can't do it. But I know, I toured Lincoln Way schools, they started doing it. It's a brilliant system, honestly, but you have to qualify. And if you don't, you can't do it. Honestly, the gravel roof of the high school would be a perfect,
Yeah.
I mean, again, we're not at the point where we can discuss that, but that system would be unbelievable for that roof. But again, this situation, that was a roof that did fail. If insurance did not deem it to be caused by wind damage or something else, then it's on us to, in a hurry, replace the roof. And again, in that situation, insurance did deem it wind damage.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Can we have the supporting documents for this added to board docs? Especially if it's possible, that video is very like,
The moon bounce. Yeah.
video-
I'll never
video-
forget
the
that.
video is very telling. It's
Yes.
just, oh, yep, I got it.
I will never forget. I set a ladder up on the side by the pool, and when I got up there, I could not believe it. And then it was like, what do we put infield dry on it. Like the bags of infield dry, we spread out on the roof to keep it from,
Yeah.
I mean, it could have blown off. The only thing that was holding it was the flashing around the perimeter.
Yeah.
That was
I mean,
the only
look,
thing keeping it in place.
Ingenious, short-ish term solution.
Yeah.
but Having those, this is the last time we talked about it, let's have those supporting documents there. And I think it's certainly a spot where like a video,
Yeah.
Speaks a million words.
a million words, just really,
Yeah.
very much so. Any other questions or comments on the high school roof?
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim, for inquiring.
Thank you.
But, Joe, I want to say, I really appreciate your expertise and your knowledge here. It's very, very helpful to us all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, recap of the facilities, finance and facilities meeting. Ron or Jack or?
If you weren't here, you missed a great meeting. It's very useful, very productive. We started off by pledging, as part of the facilities move, a balanced budget, which is something the board needs to see and we need to see as a school district to maintain our fiscal health and to maintain our excellence overall. So we discussed that. Ron did a very nice presentation about different funding sources and giving us a history of the TIF, current status and future status. He talked about life safety bonds and working cash bonds because these are sources that we may utilize to address facility needs going forward. We shared 4 ideas about how to move forward to address facility needs. We got some great feedback from everybody present to explore maybe some hybrid options for functioning, for funding, explore location ideas, and some good debate. And so we'll be back on February 24th to continue the discussion. We encourage, as Leah said, anybody who has questions in the interim, please send those to Ron or to myself or to Joe, and then we'll meet as a team between now and then and take what we learned from the committee meeting and make some adjustments and do another quick presentation and discussion on the 24th.
Comments?
I appreciate the community, but we need to hear and encourage more, if we can, wherever we are, but ideas or especially ideas, it's easy to hear the problems, which we'll talk about a lot, but hearing possible solutions and ideas are great, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, please come out and have your voices heard.
And are those documents, are they still draft? Are they ready to be shared?
We can definitely share the TIF one. Let me do one more draft look through with Elizabeth Hennessy from Chapman and Cutler for the bond piece, and then we
Okay.
can definitely share that one.
Okay, and can we add it to the documents here?
Yes.
Cool, thank you. Okay, district athletics.
Yeah, so I didn't really prepare a way to introduce this topic very well. I'll try to articulate what this topic is really about, because I feel like this is a very long-term thing, and I'm just trying to give it some visibility and some structure, and that is that there are 2 sort of main components to this. One is, how do we support athletic directors, student athletes first, but student athletes, athletic directors, coaches within our school district a little bit more than what I feel like we have done in the recent past. I mean, we've made a lot of progress as a school district academically, and I don't think that we've made the same progress in athletics, at least at the same pace, right? And I think the second pillar of it is sort of what I'll refer to as the verticalization of our approach to athletics throughout the district. And the reason I say that is because it seems to be a big part, I don't know, I'm looking at you, Jack, when I say this and ask this question, sure. Which is, it seems like a big part of the success we've had academically has been a result of that verticalization, of a vertical approach throughout all of the district in terms of how we pursue academic excellence, right? How a PLC is implemented from this building to that building and whatever. And I feel like the athletics in this district in the school district, the life of the student athlete could be improved by a vertical approach to athletics in the district as well.
Could you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, I was just
Because
gonna ask, that's-
initially,
What I mean by that is,
now I know as I hear you. but-
I mean, there are sort of strategic and tactical elements to that, but like something as simple as the offense you run on basketball in the junior high, in the high school, is known by those that are running the same offense at the basketball team in the junior high, right? And so that's something that's sort of tactical, right? It's just an approach to athletics. Well, how do we play volleyball in this district.
And I'm
Right.
going to say something, not that this is done, but why this is important and why we see, now that I hear you, but as an example of why this is important and how it shows that it works. It's not simple, but simple thing of, in the summer, there are camps.
Right.
And now we have a list of camps that says, a lot of it from our high school coaches, that says, I'm going to take fifth graders from Manning and have a camp, and then I'm going to have 6th through 8th, but it's coming from the same person. And then you get the interest, and then you get the tie-in from students that know, now I get to play with the high school player because he's helping with the junior high, but a lot of that teaching is coming from one, and now it's verticalized. As a parent, the last 2 years, I'm looking for that, from my school leaders, it comes out like, hey, this is a camp you can get into
Right.
for but it's all this, it's not just Manning camp and just the junior high camp and just the high school.
Right. And
But
so-
that's an important thing, as I hear you, I see that as an example.
Right, and that actually speaks back to the first point of like, how do you give more support to student athletes, coaches, athletic directors, and a structure through which anybody who wants to be involved in athletics in the district, a structure through which they understand how it all kind of works. I mean, there are so many moving parts here we could talk about, and I don't know that tonight's the night we want to really get into all of those different moving parts. Something different than the very tactical sort of what offense do you run on basketball for the junior high and the high school, which is kind of a silly, maybe a silly little example, but also. Or what's the junior high version of that offense is a better way of saying it, but whatever. Another thing when I think about verticalization is just like what exposure do elementary students have institutionally, not just randomly, but what exposure do they have to, hey, when you go to junior high, there's this thing called athletics. They learn about it organically. But who learns about it? The ones that are already athletes in middle school, or excuse me, in elementary school, because they already participate in baseball, soccer, whatever it is they participate in, not the ones that don't. There's no athletics as a component of like that step up, right, from elementary to middle and middle to high school. You know, I'm thinking about things like, what's the night that the kids from Manning know that all the kids from Manning are going to the junior high basketball game? What's the night that all the kids at the junior high that play basketball or don't play basketball know that the junior high kids are going to the high school basketball game? Because that sort of thing does happen in other districts, right? And so that's another component of it. And then there are other things like communication. You know, one of the things that came to my attention this year was that, and I don't know how common this is, but I believe it's very common. I believe it's very, very common that the platform for communication is this in sports is an application it's a phone app called Game Changer. And everybody who sports balls knows that, that when they start a new sports ball, they ask the coach, hey, what's the Game Changer? Can you send me the Game Changer? I think Heather knows what I'm talking about, because it's the ABC of being a new member on an athletic team, a sports ball team. And so, but if it's the schools, if it's the junior high's baseball team or the junior high's wrestling team or the high school's football team, and there's this app controlled by who, you know, and run by who and monitored by whom, the scheduling, it's all left up to the coaches to figure that out, right? And I think that's a pretty heavy burden.
In my
But it's-
experience, it's been parents.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's parents that pick up the ball and run with it. Whenever it's not too hard to actually integrate that into the platform for communication for parents and athletes and coaches and athletic directors and everyone.
Yeah.
This is our platform. Whether it's Game Changer or not, I don't know that that's the point. The point is there should be one, right? And that's, again, another component. So I'm gonna try and bring this thing in for a landing a little bit and just say that I am a big believer in the well-rounded individual that we're trying to produce. I don't know, I'd have to go look at the portrait of the graduate and see if it makes any winks and nods at all to student athletics, but if it doesn't, it should. Because I think that the portrait of a graduate in this district should include the possibility, not the requirement, but the possibility of student athletes. Because I think that, well, I'm not talking about a good athlete, I'm talking about a student athlete, just so we're clear. That just being a good athlete is not being well-rounded. But the people I know, and I've had experience in my life from the time I was a student athlete to even now, and I have a couple generations of kids for whatever reason, and that is that when you are a high-performing student athlete, you have a half a foot in adulthood from a very early age, because you have to juggle these competing priorities in a way that not everyone has to do. And if you're really performing on both of those stages well, you're well positioned for adult life. And I think it's important. I think it's not just about athletic performance and how many state champions we have. That's not what I'm really talking about. I'm talking about an integrated, institutionally supported, and vehicles outside of the district itself. I know that we have athletic boosters. I understand that. And that's a great place to start. In fact, I'm anxious to talk to the athletic boosters to understand better how they see all this, right? But, oh, and one last thing. We had an example of the beginnings of something like this in our district not too long ago in the Junior Sentinels. It was a perfect seed for what I'm talking about. And I believe it has died on the vine, if I'm not mistaken. And the reason it has died is because it was built upon individual contributors and not a system.
Which is the constant issue, right?
Which is the constant issue.
We have wonderful, dedicated parents who are willing to put so much time into efforts, and it's like the PTO, like, burnout, right? And we saw our elementary PTOs combine a couple years ago to try to like combat that. But I think what Carlos is like talking, it's intentionality, right? We've talked about strengthening athletics. We've talked about a desire to strengthen athletics. Well, let's put some intention behind it, right? Like, let's say that we're going to do what we've done already with the curriculum, that is work across all of our different schools. And I think when Carlos and I talked about this a little bit, like, I thought about like the 50th anniversary committee, right? They're the foundation that came together to pull off the 50th anniversary. And like, we are a school district of 1,200 children and like 600 families, maybe, right? Like, and we're pulling, and many of those families have kids at all 5 schools or 4 schools, and we're pulling parent time in all of these different ways, and we're pulling educator time and support time in all of these different ways. And like, do we need to?
Couldn't it be more efficient?
Couldn't it be more efficient, right?
Yeah.
Could it be easier on our staff? Could it be easier on our kids? Could it be easier on our parents and more attainable? And as a relatively new sports-ish mom, not ball, but with a child who joined a team for the first time ever in 7th grade, like, I was like, are your coaches gonna like, are they gonna send me something? I mean, I was like flying blind, right? Like, and I felt like I didn't know how to like support my new sports child, right? Because I didn't have any kind of experience with it before. And also, like, why isn't there every single team can have the exact same welcome to the team, like, intro page, right? And if if everybody uses the app, I'm like, oh great, I download the app and that's how we communicate. And when practice is at high school at 6:47 in the morning, cool, it hits my phone, right? Like, I feel like I spent most of that first season like,
how does all that even work?
Like, did we miss something? Always waiting to miss something, which is stressful for a parent too. So I think that, like, I think a bit of the question is, and something for the board to consider is like, where does this fit, right? Is this is this a superintendent's committee? Okay, which is something that's not under the board purview, but part of the administration. Is it an ad hoc board committee? Who would we want on it? Like, I think these are all things that if the board is going to support this, I don't want to say like
A
drive
task
it because
or-
it can't, because we can't drive it.
It's not for us to drive it. It's
But-
just, yeah.
Like-
Set a task. We're asking for something. What are we asking for even?
But
Like,
Carlos, to your point, we could add it to the portrait of a graduate, right? I mean, that's something as a board
Something as a board we can
we
do.
can do, and that drives policy then.
Well, but that comes from the administration. So the picture of the portrait of a graduate comes out of the administration and the strategic planning process. It doesn't come out of us, we approve it. So we are certainly part of that process. But I think that's part of like the conversation of like, this is really a community question.
It is.
It is.
Because
It is.
because it's parents, right? It's frankly, it's the PTOs, it's the boosters, it's the like, it's all of it.
It's a community issue, and also I do think when Carlos made the point of how is our district supporting our coaches and our athletic directors, I'm very curious to know how that's being done, and reversely, like how are our coaches and athletic directors supporting their student athletes, because I just can't say that I've experienced that as a parent of student athletes, and so I'm just we could build on something and do something really great. We're a small community. Athletics are very much community driven. It brings communities together.
And that's the one that's experienced it, like probably as much as I can in the elementary and in junior high. I feel like it has a theme from our district that I feel like it's better. And just like academics or streamlining just what PTOs and things like that. Like I feel like going through it and ending on is disjointed as far as like,
It's disjointed.
yeah,
That's the right word.
and it's like, they're doing great things at the high school and and our AD there, like, Mr. Dunn, has done more than I honestly thought would be done, and getting people and letting us know, but I'm there at the high school, so I hear it, but I remember like, why don't I hear about how well they're doing at the junior high?
Yeah.
What, this is going on?
Yeah.
Football, we kind of heard, because people look out, that was like our Westmont thing, people go to the game, but it's just, it was like when I had a kid at Manning and Miller, and there were parties going on, and parents at Manning's like, I didn't know they were having that. And I'm like, why can't we be all at the same party? So it's just a little bit of that same theme, and I think it's part of your question. And then as a board, how do we support that? How do we ask, or what do we ask for? What exactly are we asking for? We need our community, but like get it out of that land, that disjointed. Like we're a small community, we should.
It shouldn't, look, how do we help the process of it, right? How do we help make just being involved? And frankly, I would include band in this as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it's arguably like an activity conversation, even
Even bigger
Scholastic
than
Bowl.
sports ball, right.
You know
yes.
how well.
Scholastic Bowl.
How well they're doing,
Yeah.
does our district know? Like it's all of that.
Yeah, like, and then we're kind of like, is this like a PR thing, right? Because does it fit into PR, like helping to like get all of us just into the one place, right? You have to follow the boosters, you got to follow the this, you got to follow the that, and like how do we come together? And we have methods as the school board to support the coming together of our community members, right? Of our community, of our teachers,
Yep.
of non-family community members, right? Our coaches. What do they need? And how can we help?
It's like we're doing great, like you'll hear about it, like the band is volunteering here, and can't think of the place, like they go and play at different places in Westmont, so they know they're doing great things. It's just, can we get it all together?
Yeah, that's kind of where like my tie with the foundation kind of came into play. It was like, it feels like the foundation is a very natural, like pre-K to 12 alignment, essentially, and it just like, we did this great, amazing, cool party, and then like disbanded. And he was like, wait, but we all came together and did a thing, like, and it led to some really cool stuff. Like, you know, it led to some very cool stuff, but,
Like, do we need a more formalized program, less relying on volunteer coaches? It almost sounds like that.
That's exactly
Yeah.
the kind of thing that I think I'm talking about for sure, right? It's like, what is,
What it
and
sounds like.
understanding that resources in the district are limited, you know, I mean, like any district, not just this district, any district, you can only do so much, right? But I think,
but when you support coaches consistently to do the same thing across all the levels, right? If all the coaches are, it's architecture versus content, the way that this role is also my full-time role is kind of crazy, because I say this all the time. It is architecture versus specialized content.
Yeah, right.
The architecture of your kid joining a team or band or choir or a club is all the same. They all join the same. And all of the meetings and da-da-da-da-da are all on the same platform, right? So that parents have a consistent architecture, but then also the coaches and the volunteers and our paid coaches as well also know the exact same thing, right? So like, boy, does helping out at the junior high as a coach become so much more attainable and approachable when I don't have to figure out how does the junior high schedule it, when are the meets, when I don't have to figure out all of these architectural pieces. Boy, that becomes way more approachable to like support things in multiple ways. That's like the combination of the PTOs, right?
if you step up and say, I want to be the junior high baseball coach, you know, it's not like, here's your whistle, go.
Yeah.
It's got to be more. Anyway, I think the ask that I have, I don't know if the rest of the board members feel the same way, but the ask I have is like, I think we do need some type, not permanent, but some type of a committee, either a superintendent's committee or a special committee I would like the boosters at the table. I would like to invite people to this conversation as a community, as it pertains to the school district, and see what comes of that. I don't think this isn't a short-term thing. This is a long-term thing.
Yeah, but
And-
technically a ad hoc.
Yes, no, I don't mean the committee. I'm sorry, the committee is a short-term thing.
Yeah.
I think getting some structure in place, understanding the use of potentially the foundation or maybe it's the boosters. Maybe the boosters are the right vehicle or whatever it is. I don't really know. Maybe the boosters is now not just the high school sports boosters, but rather athletic boosters, but rather the district athletic boosters. I don't know what the right vehicle is exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're trying to figure out to start with. And once we figured that out, then that vehicle can run and report back to this board once a year.
Yeah. So
You know?
Jack, do you think that you could, or not you necessarily, but can the administration reach out to some of the leaders of boosters and whatnot, and also some of our coaches and our athletic
And whatever's left of the junior
leaders,
sentinels,
and
please.
engage some interest for us
Absolutely.
in what we're talking about? If there's not interest from the people, like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
there's got to be interest.
I don't think that's.
Can you
the-
gauge
interest.
Can you
I can
gauge
tell you
some
there's interest, but I wouldn't be
and-
sitting here, I wouldn't have asked for it on the agenda if there weren't,
Yeah.
but.
No, I'm very excited about this.
Yeah.
And the superintendent's committee will make it happen and be inclusive the way that you've talked about.
Okay.
And the thing I love about our district is we're about continuous improvement and doing whatever it takes for our kids. So we put a focus on this, it'll get done. So absolutely.
Thank you.
Can we explore the difference between doing a superintendent's committee and a board ad hoc committee?
Yeah, whatever.
Explore that?
I'm good.
I don't know the difference myself, so
There are, I know that.
I'm sure there are.
But,
I'm sure there are.
so, and would the next meeting be appropriate for a follow-up on that? Or would you guys like 2 meetings? What,
Could you give us 2?
meetings? 2 meetings, okay?
Because we
Yeah,
got
this
that
is-
finance facility thing for the next one. I
Okay.
love-
No, I think 2 meetings is fine.
Okay,
I
so can we
don't
add it
think
to the
this is
agenda?
This isn't a time-sensitive issue.
Yeah, it's more
But
of a getting the conversation started.
We
Yes.
hear you loud and clear, and I think it's a very beautiful thing, and great things will happen. And we share the idea that The arts are great for our kids, and so athletics are too, and academics is such a priority for us, but let's do continuous improvement and do something for our kids athletically, absolutely. And build on, there's a lot of good things that are happening.
I'm sure of it,
But
there's
we
no
need
doubt in my
to-
mind of it.
Build on them. Yeah,
Build
let's
on
build
them.
on them. We got to talk about
Continuous
them to build on
improvement,
them.
absolutely. It's exciting.
Cool. Anything else on that? Great. School fees. I think this is Ron. Let's
It
talk
is.
school fees.
Let's talk school fees. So right now, this is discussion. The district, we've looked at school fees compared to the local area. We're still actually within range of other districts that are comparable to us. There are only two things we were looking to change. The junior high registration fee was $154.76. It proposed $155.
Wow. That's a lot.
Or we can round down, whichever one you want.
He's round.
And then the graduation gowns, the junior high did increase from $24 to $27 per the vendor. Food service prices, so you know, are not up just yet. That's more of an April-May discussion because the National School Lunch Program determines that cost. It comes to us. We'll look into that. Other fees will not change. Attached is that schedule, and we would like to stay the same otherwise.
Great. Questions? No. Okay. Superintendent's report.
I'll try to be brief, but there's so many things that I'm excited about. I really appreciate Carlos bringing this to our attention, and we will absolutely follow through. Our academics continue to be excellent, and our teachers and kids are working so hard. I'm proud of that. I thought the Finance and Facilities meeting was outstanding tonight, and I really, if anybody's listening out there, come join us next time, because it really is the future of our district and our community. And I feel like we're going to come together and make something great happen. I have so much optimism about that. And part of it is like listening to each other and doing what's right for our community. And I feel that that is going to happen for us. And it's very exciting, and it's good for Westmont, and it's great for 201. So part of that equation is our finances. We must be fiscally responsible. I feel like we have been, but we can do better there too. And we're going to have some tough decisions to make, but we're pledged to a balanced budget, no question, but doing it surgically and doing it with an eye towards serving our kids and their interests and our whole community. But we will have to make some reductions, but we can make them wisely and still support our kids, still honor the great work that our teachers and staff and admin have done. So, but it's going to require some belt tightening, and that's just many districts. We were at the IASB dinner, and the state superintendent was there, and he talked about how literally the number of schools that were in deficit spending had more than doubled in the last year.
Wow.
Yes. But we are going to be able to continue to have excellence for our kids in all areas, but be a balanced budget to go with that. So we're pledged to that. And we can do both, and we will do both. And we'll do it in a compassionate way. We'll do it in a thoughtful way, in a fiscally responsible way that still honors our staff that has given so much to our kids too. So I'm really very optimistic about where we're headed. I'm grateful to the school board and the community, but there's some really great things on the horizon for us. And as proud as we are of our current status, which we should be extremely proud of, we're going to continuously improve and make great things happen.
Cool. Board reports.
Just on the same thing with athletics and sports, I just wanted to say, like, I've been maybe to a few, but a Hall of Fame night, again, we speak about athletics and how it's important, just seeing coaches and alum return and the joy they have when they see each other and learning what they did. And it's like I still learn about this district and in awe. I think it was one of the honorees was the girls basketball team that went to sectionals, probably the only one. in our history, but it's just, and a teacher who was a part of that, like, it was amazing, it's great. So another reason why, you know, what you're saying, Carlos, was important, and just seeing that. And then we always, one of the things we talk about is about our alum and how they return and their mentors and their teachers, and how we, you know, that's part of our, I don't know if it's something written, but I've taken from our portrait of a graduate, that they become contributors to their community. And that's why this work is so important. So it's great to see them. Great job to the boosters.
I went to the bowling PTO event on Saturday. Jack was there. Just shout out to the PTO, especially Carrie and Sarah, who put that on. It's their first time putting on that event, and I know it was a lot of work, especially getting those baskets together. They had some really amazing baskets they put together, and it was a really great event. It was super well attended, and they're gonna put it on, I think, again next year. So just,
That's great.
yeah, hats off to them.
Our parents are amazing.
Great. Any other board reports?
Band, the band, they were just at a conference, right? I think.
They just played at, the high school band select students played at, actually Ace Hardware for school. So, yeah.
That's adorable.
Yeah, I heard it was a good time. It was good for Ace Corporation. It was good for the students, so.
That's really cute. Okay. Public comment. Do we have any public comment? Moving right along. Future meetings and a date and events. We have a SIP day tomorrow, February 11th. No school on President's Day, February 16th, which is this upcoming Monday. Westmont High School incoming 9th grade night, February 19th, 6:30 p.m. at the high school. Our Westmont High School Spring Musical is coming up February 20th, 21st, and 22nd. The 20th and the 21st are at 7 p.m. 22nd is a matinee at 2 at the auditorium. Finance and Facilities Committee meeting is February 24th at 5:30 p.m. Our next regular meeting is February 24th at 6:30 p.m. Depending on the agenda, we may see about changing that start time the same way we did tonight to 7. Parent-teacher conferences start February 26th. Oh, when did those open? Didn't they just open in Skyward?
Don't know.
I think they just did.
Okay.
Look to your email about signups opening in Skyward. And we've got an Institute Day, no student attendance on February 27th. We are now going to, the chair will entertain a motion to enter closed session to discuss specific employees and student discipline.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Dr. Hoover.
Yes.
Mr. Avia.
Yes?
Mr. Marin.
Yes.
Ms. Conover.
Yes.
Ms. Mill.
Yes.
And Mr. Marin. No, did I say Mr. Marin? Sorry, I missed this one. Mr. Horman.
Yes.
And Ms. Franklin.
Yes.
All right.
Motion passes. And there will be no action after closed session, so the recording will stop and we'll just come back and close the meeting.
Yeah. You know, I'm curious.